Hi there, my name's John Ward. Your teachers asked me to talk a little about how an art qualification could be useful in the workplace. A few years ago I graduated from Sheffield University with an arts degree and was recruited by the BBC into what was fundamentally an engineering role. They were looking for arts graduates as they thought they might have a more creative outlook to problem solving. The engineering role I'm in is called a vision controller. You might see it at the end of the credits on a programme, it's just vision. For my job, it's mostly engineering, making things work, but there is an element of appreciation of picture quality, colour, balance, lighting, that kind of thing. So I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes just showing you what that job entails. Not every job's fully art. Most jobs have just a small amount of art in them. Hopefully you'll be able to see where it features in this one.
I'm going to start off by talking about my job in Vision. Now the TV truck's split into different parts. The vision controller as to make the van work, and in this area, which is the production area, the director will control what shots are taken, what angles to take it from, how it's all going to look. Now my job is to make sure that everything works in the back of the truck. This is the truck's brain, costs about £500,000. We have to make sure that everything's going to work before we set out for our next show. Now I'm going to talk about doing a football. Now we've got the files loaded in the machine. The VT guys are going to do the slow-mo replays, are getting ready. They're just checking everything's working. And then we get sent all the information that what they want. Camera angles, lighting, commentary positions, all that kind of stuff.
Say hello, Lucy.
Hello.
Lucy and her colleague Claudia are the vision engineers for this show. Now once we've got everything ready, then we can go off to Portugal and to the beautiful city of Porto, which is to be the venue for the Arsenal match that we're filming. People will be coming from all over Europe for the fourth round of the Champions League at the Estadio de Dragão. So we fly over early in the morning, make our way to the stadium and see that our van is already waiting for us to rig. Lucy unlocks the truck and we have a good look around just to see what state everything's in after 1,000 miles of travel down the motorway. Next thing we do is we go to the 40-foot truck and we have to unload about 20 tons of camera equipment, monitors. We have to work out where everything's going to go. We load it onto trolleys and then drag it up the hill to the stadium. So we liaise with RTP, the local Portuguese TV company, who've got cameras all around the pitch. They give us some feeds. They also feed the Spanish, who are parked next to us. So once we started plugging a few cameras in and a few video feeds, our tailboard's starting to look a bit like a bird's nest. These all go into a central plugging room and then they're passed on to other parts of the football ground. These then go off to our uplink back to England. Around us you can see the other TV broadcasters have got their own uplinks as well, and this is now known as a dish farm. So in the studio we start actually looking at a bit of art. We do building up the set and we put in these nice pretty pieces of furniture with a great view over the top of their heads into the stadium. But it won't look right until we've got the lights added. So we're bringing up a trolley load of different kinds of lights which will be set to try and make the place look a bit more colourful. We've got floor lights, we've got lights on stands, we've got underlights on the table, and it starts to look more like a sports studio. Behind the flats we've got a set of fluorescent tubes. These give a nice backlight effect. This small camera jib is known as a dolphin arm. It's compact but can give a great tracking shot. We start setting the lights, bouncing them off the ceiling, putting them straight onto the presenters, making sure there's no black holes where things seem to disappear. You can see we have sets of faders so we can dim the lights up and down during the show. This light's got a softener on it and blue to match daylight. This is black wrap to make sure that certain areas don't get lit. They give a very sharply defined light output. These are blue corrected lights, which are corrected to match the floodlights of the stadium later on, which are actually set to daylight. So once we're happy with the setting of the studio, the cameras, the light angles, we then move on to the next location. This is what's known as the flash interview area, where we interview the players after the match. And from there we go up the steps to the pitch side position. From here they'll do a small stand up to a camera just before the match. Back at the truck, we're sorting out the rest of the kit, flight cases, a few more cameras. They're going to go up on the very top to film some of the action. There's a whole load of stuff that has to be organised. And yet again, it's pulling the trolley up the hill. So now we rig the TV commentary position. This is right at the top of the stadium, on floor 5. Now in this place, luckily there's no more steps we have to carry any of our equipment up to. The commentary position is always placed slap bang in the middle of the pitch so that the commentators can get the best view of the action. Now this is the BBC's commentary area. Claudia throws down some video wires to me, we plug it all in, and then we're ready to go back to the truck. As you can see, there's quite a few other broadcasters here, each with their own commentary positions. Back into the truck, the production stack springs into life for I program which feeds are on which monitors, and then I program up the mixer to get the right cameras onto the right buttons. VT are ready with their slow motion replay lines, and I get ready to program up the graphics that will go on top of the pictures for giving scores and titles. I also have what's called a sting, which runs a star-shaped wipe in between each replay. This is the vision control area, and this is where I sit. My arts background is quite useful here because I have to assess the technical and picture quality of the images that will go down to the vision mixer. As you can see, I have some controls. These ones, if I push them forwards or pull them back, change the exposure. There are also other controls on here which change other parameters like the colour shading, the colour balance. This is what it looks like when I change the exposure levels. I can swing filters from here which give different colour balances and adjust for indoor or outdoor lighting conditions. I can change the red balance and I can adjust the blue balance. I'm helped by this machine known as a vectorscope, but ultimately the human eye is the best judge of all. When I change these controls, you can see Steve Ryder changes colour too. So I have to distribute the scores around the site. We have to get a picture back from England so we can tell when we're actually on air. And we're even responsible for the air conditioning around the truck. Another thing I have to look after is the cue lights. These tell the cameramen and the presenters when they're up on air. By cutting around the buttons on the vision mixer, I can test the cue lights to different places. We have a computer that makes sure the right button sends the cue light to the right camera. The last thing to set up on this show is the porter prompt so that Steve Ryder knows what to say next. It's driven by a laptop and then it's sent to a monitor back to front below the camera, which is then reflected the right way round for the presenter to see. There's one last toy called the Piero, which we use to analyse which positions the players are in during the game. And if all those ingredients come together in time for the rehearsal, then that really is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Now it's time for the rehearsal. The technical director checks that all the cameras are in the right place, the cue lights are working, that the presenters are all mic'd up, everyone's ready to go, the graphics are working, and that the envision positions down by the pitch side are working. And now we're ready to make the show.
10th, Real Madrid were also beaten last night in Lyon, but by only a goal to nil. Tonight, as well as our game here at Porto, there's action in Munich, where Bayern face Fiorentina. And looking further ahead to next week, Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan against his former club Chelsea. We're live in the San Siro for that one next Wednesday on ITV1.
Once we've hit the air, everyone can relax a little bit. While the program's going out, I'm constantly looking at the colours, the lighting, making sure the balance is right of the programme. So when they cut to our pictures, they all look good. Yes, even football has got some art in it. Most of the coverage of the match is by the host, RTP. We've got a few cameras of our own. We have to make sure that our colours and brightness match those of the host. At the end of the match, we use the lights and cameras that we rigged down by the interview position. At the end of the match, tens of thousands of fans pour out of the stadium. We have to battle our way through them all with trolleys and retrieve all the cameras, the cables, the lights and the monitors that we rigged the day before. When production are finished, Lucy goes round with a checklist and makes sure that the van is properly closed up. When the sides go in, one panel left out could be very expensive. So hopefully this short video has gone to show you that even a job as techie as mine still has plenty of aspects linked to art, colour, lighting and design. So next time you wonder what is the point of doing art at your school or college, just remember that every job has got some art in it somewhere.